This clip is brought to you by SaveWithConrad.com.
Something we've never really talked about, or not a great deal, but boy, what a story this was. It's a plot against Jerry Lawler of all people. One of the folks who conspired to rob Jerry Lawler in 2004, April Veach, is sentenced in September to 13 months in federal prison. The plot involved trying to steal $200,000 out of one of King's jukeboxes on Monday night when he's out of town calling Raw. Veach allegedly is an adult entertainer, a dancer, if you will. Some might even say stripper, who had previously dated, if that's a word, Jerry Lawler while scoping out his house. However, more concerning is that the scheme seemed to involve veteran police officers. Officer David Tate, who is an 18-year police veteran, was accused of plotting the burglary, taking bribes from nightclubs, protecting drug dealers, and even transporting prostitutes to Tunica, Mississippi casinos. Reports are that he even discussed shooting Jerry Lawler should he unintentionally be home during this robbery. Tate was sentenced to 14 years in prison. And there's another officer, John D. Vaughn, who's also sentenced to 4 years in prison. And Officer Billy Scott received a 7-year prison sentence. My goodness. You know, I hate to talk about something negative these days, but not all that long ago, Lawler's son, Grandmaster Sexay, Brian Lawler, who we all are very familiar with as wrestling fans, passed away under some pretty skeptical circumstances while he was in the custody of the local jail, and Lawler is now pursuing that. And I understand that he may have some questions after an incident like this. What do you remember hearing about all these quote unquote dirty cops and this dancer trying to plot to take out the king?
Well, it's an interesting story to say the least. Kind of scary when you think about it, because Kingfish was on TV every Monday night live. So those in Memphis knew that he's probably not at home. Scary to think of who might have been at home unknowingly that might have got hurt in this thing. I mean, I can only imagine them breaking into his house and the TV turn on and Lawler's on TV and they end up shooting up his TV or something. But, you know, it was a scary thing. And I'm not sure that, I don't think that they actually stole the money. I think it was a plot to steal the money.
That's right.
And I don't know that there actually ever was, at least at that time, you know, money in the jukebox. And I think that Jerry and different people that had been in Jerry's house from time to time, because, you know, Jerry's a local celebrity. Everybody knows him and he knows everybody. So I think that it was knowledge that Jerry had a jukebox. Jerry has this beautiful Coca-Cola room in his home with all original Coca-Cola artwork and collectibles and shit. It's pretty cool. And he's got this really nice jukebox in there. So I can see how all this shit could have come to, hey, Jerry Lawler's got a bunch of money in his jukebox. I asked him point blank, you know, I remember then, and without coming out and saying yes or no, he was like, well, no, there was nothing in there. But had there been, who knows? Had he gone into his jukebox and got anything out? Who the hell knows? But I know that from the sounds of everything and talking to Jerry about it, that it was a lot of rumor and innuendo about what it actually was versus what it actually was. And yes, it was plot. Yes, there was this girl that had come back to Jerry's house and knew the lay of the land, if you will. Probably got this guy, and Jerry Lawler's a celebrity, so of course he's got to be loaded. Must have millions laying around there, and I think that's pretty much what happened.
A little pro tip, boys and girls: if you have cash laying around your house, don't tell anybody.
Yeah, or why the fuck do you need cash laying around your house?
Well, listen, some people don't want to pay taxes on stuff, and you know, once upon a time, wrestling was an all cash business. That's not the case anymore. But once upon a time, it was an all cash business, and we've even talked about here, some promoters were very familiar with the skim, and other wrestlers would demand to be paid in cash. So it stands to reason to me
Are you
that
saying that Jerry Jarrett and the Nashville, Memphis wrestling territory may not have been 100% on the up and up? Is that what you're trying to say?
it almost feels like you're insinuating that everything that happened in Houston was well documented.
Very much so.
Okay.
God, and you wouldn't believe. Oh my God. So since you brought it up, so one of the things that I've been looking for, and this is how crazy this shit is, man. First of all, everything was done in pencil. I still do everything in pencil, just out of habit. But the receipts, okay? And probably for kids your age, you probably never did encounter this, but there was a hot dog place in Houston, Texas called James Coney Island. Best fucking chili dogs in the world. The original James Coney Island in downtown Houston was an institution, served I don't know how many people daily. It was ungodly. And the owner was at the cash register, except there wasn't a cash register. It was like a cafeteria line. You went through the line. You told the guy behind the counter how many hot dogs you wanted, with chili, with onions, with mustard. What do you want on it? Blah, blah, blah. You move on down the line further. You got chips and you got a drink. That was all they served. So you get down to the end, and there's the old man, and he counts up how many hot dogs that you have, if you got chili or not. Okay, got 2 bags of chips, and you got a drink. Okay. And he would write down a number on a brown paper bag. It was always an even number. It wasn't like, oh, okay, yeah, that'll be $4.96. No, it was like, okay, that's $4. Cash, no credit. It was long before, the use of credit cards and shit was a thing. And he would write down that number. Just $4. Yeah, it's just a 4. And along underneath a list of, 3, 10, 6, whatever. That was their accounting system. So in the wrestling business, and I just got this, man, from 1941 to 1975 of Paul Bosch's records from Houston, of every single day what the ticket office did in receipts. Handwritten, some in pencil, some in pen, but it had the date, and then Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, and a number by each day. Then you had a line, you got your advance, and then you had the gate. And I was hoping, and I'm sitting there thinking, God, I want to get it for, I wanted to get it for the time that I was there. Just for sentimental reasons again. But when I got this just now, and I started looking through it, because my wife is doing this unbelievable job of going through all of this stuff and sorting the 1985 Guinness Book of World Records from a 1913 first print of some book, poetry book from Hawaii that's worth $3,000 on the internet, separating all this shit. And to me, that's more valuable than anything. And it's got literally every single day from 1941 to 1975 of the daily receipts in every single house written down. I'm going to send this to you right now, just so you can understand what the hell I'm talking about and just get an idea of it, because that's the way that promoters did business back then. And this is the date on there, which was really cool, July 20th, 1973, the day that Jack Briscoe won the NWA World Heavyweight Championship. And it's the only entry in the book that actually has anything about the card on it. Other than there's a few in there that has Giant where he is. And they drew $9,387 that night for Jack Briscoe to beat Harley Race with the Luthez press in the third fall for the NWA World Heavyweight Wrestling Championship.
I like it.
So pretty cool shit. Did you get it?
I'm waiting on the picture. I don't have it yet.
Damn it. I hate technology.
It hates you
It's
more.
still, the little blue line's going across the top still, but yeah. So it was cash business. So maybe you kept a little cash on hand.
Occasionally, every now and again.
Occasionally.
Hey, it's Conrad Thompson. Thanks for checking out the podcast here on YouTube. Be sure to hit the subscribe button and the notifications bell so you get a notice anytime we upload some new content. And go save yourself some money right now. If you're in a 30-year loan or you have credit card debt, it's not a matter of if I can save you money. It's a matter of how much. Find out right now for free at SaveWithConrad.com.